Raspberry Pi 3. It's now running the newest Raspberry Pixel. Basically they just released a new major update. They failed to tell everyone it's a major update, so everyone that's updated, well, they've pretty much corrupted their disks because nothing works from the old with the new, if that makes sense. There's a lot of things that are different, and there's a lot of things that may be depreciated, and yeah, it's caused a lot of issues. So if you've got any projects out there and you plan on updating it or upgrading it, make sure you back up all your files first before changing your OS, because you know you could lose it permanently or have to use some sort of recovery programs and stuff, which means you need Linux. So if you're running Windows as your main system and you're using Linux on a virtual box, then it could cause issue when you go to recover your files. The best thing to do, as I said, back up all your files via FTP or SSH or whatever, and then do your update then. You can also back up your SD card completely, just clone it, and then if you get any issues, at least you've got something there. You can, you know, use different SD cards. But yeah, this has been a huge headache. I had things set up, I had things where I wanted it, and what happened was yesterday I had to unplug it to move it. Plugged it back in, it didn't want to boot. So basically I lost my Wi-Fi, so I connected the LAN cable in to the Raspberry Pi 3 for the first time, and yeah, once that was plugged in I regained access, but it still was spewing out garbage from the web server Apache. So I did an upgrade and that didn't make anything better. I tried doing a firmware upgrade and that just made everything 10 times worse. Basically the Raspberry Pi 3 failed to start at all, no lights, nothing. So yeah, today I took the memory card out, put a new micro SD card in, and I finally got it working. So I knew that it wasn't a dead PS3, Raspberry Pi 3, I knew it wasn't totally dead. So just a question of downloading the newest Raspberry in, which happens to be this Pixel update, and as you can see I'm booted it in now. So I'm just going through the steps, setting it all up, make sure Python runs and all that, put an FTP server back on there. This is all tedious stuff. I've also got to put a mail server back on there. All these things, you know, is long. If you'd have just had a warning saying that this is a major update, then I would have been a bit more cautious about doing it, but you know, you live and learn. So yeah, it's just a message out there to all the Raspberry Pi 3 users that Pixel is coming your way, whether you like it or not, and it seems to work, but I wouldn't recommend upgrading to it because chances are it's just not going to work the way you expect it to, and it's, in my eyes, it's a major update that they totally failed, because nothing's compatible with the old stuff. Even things like putting your network statically, even that's overly complicated now. So I have to just use the icons and set it up like a novice would, because it's so much simpler. It used to be the other way around, you know, you used to be able to just type in and there you go. But yeah, that's my 2 cents for the day, as it were. So yeah, it's just a warning to the Raspberry Pi 3 users out there. Right, I've got 3 unboxing things to do today. I think they're all from China. So yeah, just open the first one. GSM boards. Really cheap as well, so they sent me 2 of them. Got all the bits in there, GSM module there. I think it is like £2 or something, really cheap. What's the next one? An MP3 player with remote. Basically plug in a USB. And it will play some music. That looks really nice. So you can plug a memory card in or a USB. It's got auxiliary out. It runs off 12 volts. So anything with 12 volt you can use on. Yeah, it's cool that it's got a remote as well. And again, this was quite cheap, so £3. Okay, and nothing special, just double A batteries, 3 amp hour. So yeah, that's for a screwdriver that I've got coming on its way. Okay, so here's a close-up of the MP3. It's also got a FM tuner in there as well, little digital FM receiver. So I'm going to explain what these wires are about, because you get two sets of wires. Okay, so this one with the red cable is actually an antenna, this red one. So your outputs for your speakers are here. So you've got your negative, or I should say ground. Basically you've got your ground, and you've got your left, and you've got your right. So that's pretty simple, that's why there's only 3 of them. Basically the ground pretty much in the middle. Yep, and you've got your right out on the right, and the left out on the left, and your antenna, which is the red one. Now this one's pretty straightforward, it's just your power input. So you've got your 12 volt, don't know if you can see that, but it's basically ground and 12 volt. It'll probably work with 9 volt to be fair, but it will work up to 12, so you'll be able to stick this in your car. So yeah, pretty simple. So basically with the ground on this one, which is the middle one, with the ground you'd have to basically make sure you've got a ground for your left and ground for your right. So you might want to branch off of the middle one to account for you, because you've got 2 speakers and both speakers have 2 wires. Both speakers require a ground, so your middle, the ground, will need to be basically split, one for your left, one for your right. So I don't know why they didn't just put 4 in there. Would have made it a lot more simpler, but that's okay. So I'll probably turn that on at some point in the future, make a video about how it looks, how it works. You also got auxiliary input, so there's no reason why you couldn't put a headphone jack on here as well. Would have been a nice cherry for the top of the cake, but never mind. Also there weren't no screws, so if you're buying this don't expect any screws or anything like that. But yeah, overall it is very nice, especially as cheap as it was. And here's the remote. Upside down, of course. So you got the power, stop, mute, mode. I assume that's rewind. EQ, previous, next, play and pause, volume down, volume up, and then numbers 0 to 9. So yeah, fairly basic.